Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here. Today I wanted to do an update because this week is a very important week for me anyway. This week marks the 1-year anniversary from our Cerclage. Now if you haven't seen that video, I do talk about how I had an emergency Cerclage to save my pregnancy well, exactly 1 year ago, as of January 25th. I will link to that video in this video just in case you want to get some background information, because I'm not going to be talking about how that all came about and how it went so much, as I'm going to be giving an update as where we are exactly 1 year later. So without further ado, let's get started. I also hope you can't hear the babies in the background. My husband's looking after them, but they're downstairs, and Grace in particular is making a lot of noise. So as of January 18th, that was exactly to the year that I have been off work, because that was the day I had a doctor's appointment and my cervix was not as long as they would like to see. But at that point we weren't going forward with the Cerclage. I had a cervix measurement of over 1 centimeter, so they just wanted to wait and see what would happen. I did start progesterone and I was on bed rest. So as of tomorrow, by when this video gets posted, it'll be January 25th. And that will be exactly 1 year that we got rushed into the hospital because I had bulging membranes. Basically my cervix was already a little bit open and we had that rescue Cerclage placed. So where are we exactly a year later? Well, the most important thing is I have 2 beautiful, healthy baby girls who turned 8 months on the 18th. So it was really kind of an ironic timeline that exactly a year after finding out that we had a short cervix, they had their 8-month birthday. So I just couldn't help but look at their little faces and smile and just be overflowing with gratitude that they were there. We made it after 119 days on bed rest. It was all worth it. And if I could have just known that that would have been the outcome, it just would have made the bed rest that much more bearable. So what most people are interested in learning is, do we plan to have more babies? Because we have incompetent cervix and because we had twins, so now we already have 2, what is our plan? Do we plan to go forward with more, or is this kind of it for us? Now for me, I've always wanted 3 children. This has just been something that I've had in the back of my mind since I was pretty little. But I always also kind of acknowledged that I probably would only have 2 children, even though I wanted 3 to just kind of seem more practical to me in terms of what I could personally handle. But we're at a point now where we've had the conversations, but this is the first time that I'm going to be admitting this out loud to anyone except immediate family. We are hoping to have a 3rd child. We've already talked to our fertility specialist because the twins were IVF babies. In case you haven't followed me or seen any of my other videos, my girls were IVF babies. I'm unable to conceive naturally just due to the damage done to my reproductive system by having stage 4 endometriosis. But we've already talked to him about potentially moving forward with a 3rd. So that's out there. We have multiple reasons for this. As I just mentioned, I've kind of always wanted 3. I just thought 3 was a really good amount of children to have. I kind of like a bigger family, but that not too big at the same time. Another factor is that I have 2 kids, but they're twins. So I feel like I was robbed a little bit of the newborn phase. So let me just explain that for a second. If you have 2 children and they're singletons, you had a newborn phase with your first, and then they started to grow up, and then you added a 2nd child and you had that newborn stage all over again. But because both my girls were obviously born at the same time, I had 2 for the price of 1, and to double whammy that, because it's twins, I feel like it was a blur in ways that I didn't anticipate. I mean, I knew it would be hard, but I have very little memories from the first couple months of their lives because things were just so crazy. I mean, the memories I have are generally from pictures and from videos that I took, which thank God for that. So it would be nice to have the experience of the newborn phase again and to have the experience of having just 1 child at a time. Now I know I'll already have twins that are older, so it won't be exactly the same experience, but that's neither here nor there. And the 3rd reason that I was hesitant to even put out there, but for the sake of transparency and in case anyone else is going through this, I am going to put it out there. This may not be a popular reason to add a 3rd child, and it is not the most important one. The other reasons that I've already disclosed are more of our driving factors for having a 3rd child, but I would be ignoring part of the story or, holding back part of the story if I didn't also admit that part of the motivation is the fact that my daughter Grace has Down syndrome. While that diagnosis, while we were pregnant, was very scary, I'm not going to lie, I was like, tears were shed. Since she's come into my life, I know that she's exactly the baby that I was meant to have. She is perfect, she's amazing, she is like this angel baby, and I could not adore her any more than I do. But she's only 8 months old and I cannot see in the future. I don't have a crystal ball. I have no idea the level of independence or dependence that she will have in her adult years. Now, while this makes zero difference to my husband and I don't care if she's fully 100% dependent on us or if she has, she's out in the world and she's living her own life completely independently. It makes no difference as long as she's happy. As a parent, I am happy. So it's not about us. What I was thinking about is that I'm not always going to be here. My husband and I are not always going to be around. If she needs a high level of care when Jeff and I are no longer here, that care will fall solely on Olivia. So this is something that I don't want to think about, but of course I have to think about. I just don't want Olivia to feel alone in that care. I think that if there was another sibling that could perhaps help out with the care should it come down to that, I would just feel more comfortable with that as a parent. Now again, I'm not adding a baby just for logistical reasons, and I'm not adding a baby to our family just so that there's someone to help take care of Grace. That's not what it's about. As mentioned, I have lots of other reasons for this, but this I again wanted to be honest and transparent, and I wouldn't be totally being transparent if I didn't mention that this was a contributing factor to the decision. Now, as mentioned, we did already talk to the fertility doctor about this, and he thinks that we're a go. I've gone for 1 month of cycle monitoring, and my hormone levels look good. They look basically exactly the same as they did before our first round of IVF last year. So he basically says, based on the amount of embryos we still have left that are frozen currently, that he doesn't have any doubt in his mind that he could get us pregnant again. Now, in relation to the incompetent cervix, he's a doctor. So what he has told me is that he can't 100% diagnose the fact that I had incompetent cervix. Now, for any of you who have gone through this before, you might already know that they're hesitant to say it was incompetent cervix. Unless it's happened multiple times. And because it only happened the once, because I've only had the one pregnancy that's made it to the second term, and because I didn't actually experience a loss due to cervix failure, they don't want to say, oh yes, you have incompetent cervix, even though we're all pretty confident that I do. The other thing about that is he's saying, well, we can't be sure medically if it's just because you were having twins. Maybe your body just couldn't handle the weight of two, maybe it was something to do with the twins, and we can't say 100% for sure that this will or will not happen again. So while that is exceptionally scary for me, I would say that is the biggest factor that is holding me back, is that if something happens at this point, if we do get pregnant again and I lose the pregnancy, how will I not take on the guilt of knowing that I went into that pregnancy knowing that I could lose that baby and knowing the problems that I had. So the feelings of the guilt that I might feel are a little overwhelming at times and definitely make me hesitate, but I feel that deep down I'm making the right decision. I went to my Facebook group, luckily that my friend Joelle had recommended. She has a YouTube channel where she talks about her incompetent cervix as well. This Facebook group is very supportive, and I said, listen girls, I want to have another baby, but I'm so scared. What do I do? What have you done? And someone gave me the most beautiful advice, and she said, you don't want to look back at the dinner table in the future and think, I wonder who's missing. I wonder who's not here because I didn't try again, because we didn't move forward with that decision. Don't let fear rob you of the joy. So with that in mind, we are going to be moving forward with another round of IVF, but we're going to be waiting a little bit because I'm not quite ready to get pregnant again. So we're probably looking sometime in the summer after the girls are 1 year old. When the time comes, I will definitely be making videos about it and letting you all follow along in the journey. Alright guys, that's it for now. That is where we are 1 year post our Cerclage journey. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I do love to hear from you. If you're someone going through incompetent cervix, you're thinking about getting pregnant again, you're on bed rest right now, feel free to reach out to me. I received a lot of support when I was on bed rest, and I'd like to pay it forward and offer any support I can to you going through your own journey. I wish you all absolutely nothing but the best, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.